Welcome in, Country Club. Cover Country here. Our last warm-up show before, I guess it's our last preseason game before the real thing begins on the 24th here. We'll be here an hour earlier than this, going live for you Country Club members, and then it will be available to the rest of the folks as soon as it ends. So if you want to be able to ask us questions against the spread, et cetera, become a Country Club member today. Joining us today, we got the names up there. We got Steven. Good morning, Steven. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am ready for football season. I mean, obviously baseball for me as a Marlins fan is non-existent. So bring football on.
You're preaching to the choir, my man. The Braves are in a free fall. We're like that game in Brazil that just went, son of a, what the hell happened? Bobby, speaking of doom and gloom, your Gators, how are you?
I mean, I'm not looking forward to their season. We got one of the toughest schedules in college football, but I'm looking forward to football being back in general, at least. So that's something to be excited about.
And Doug, how the hell are you?
Doing good. Like Steven with the Marlins, the Reds are sitting in the right seat next to him.
You have hope, though. You have Ellie De La Cruz.
We have a 10-man draft that we have a 10-man draft that we're about to do for fantasy football. I'll put it on the screen when we get to that point. It's still about 3 minutes out, so I don't want you to have to look at a bunch of basically nonsense. They don't have the draft room open. The draft room. If someone sees them open the draft room, let me know, and then we'll show everything. In this draft, what do we have? Doug's batting. I almost said batting. Doug's drafting second. You know where my head is. Steven's drafting third. Bobby fourth, and then I'm 10th. Man, y'all are back to back, so that should be fun.
I'm actually sixth. That third is different.
Oh, that's not you. That's not you. I'm sorry. I saw Steve. I didn't even. I know you're Steven. I don't want to start a thing. So this is a 10-man draft. Last time we did an 8-man draft. So this should be a little more indicative of what you're doing in your real drafts. Some people do prefer 12, but let's be honest. When you're drafting locally with friends, sometimes you can't find 12 people, and you're like, it is what it is. So, all systems go for you, Steven, on the 31st for the draft day.
I'll be there.
I know Doug says he'll be there. Bobby, Are you going to be in the league this year? The
is it the trophy one?
There's the trophy, and then there's also the one where the old school draft that you've been in on, where you draft on Skype and everybody else is in the room.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so that should fill up that league. Having issues making sure we've got an open slot. Steven, I might reach out to you right after this to find out if there's any idea of who might want to take over a dynasty league. If not, we might just have to do. I know we're going to do one other one. If we can't keep the dynasty together, then I guess we'll end up doing the reggae draft. So it is what it is. Does it seem like to you that the auction drafts have kind of died off the last few years? Yeah. They don't seem as. Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like it's more of a baseball thing.
Okay.
The auctions. So, I mean, they are definitely dominant in baseball. That I can tell
I don't remember the last time I saw. I don't remember the last time that I saw a show doing like specifically for auction drafts. It seems like they're either doing redrafts or dynasty. It just seems like that's the way it's gone.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the auction, but honestly, it doesn't hurt my feelings either way.
I like doing auction mock drafts just for the fun of it, but I feel like I always come out of it with a worse team than I do in regular, draft format like the snake ones.
Yeah, because there's either someone like Doug who sits back there in the weeds and saves all their money. And then in that same draft, there'll be someone like who was it? Was it Rocky Top that used to always put all his money in? You'd be like, dude, he's like got like 4 superstars and this team is trash.
Well, Vilmo used to do that too. Vilmo used to just pay all his cash up front.
Okay. Maybe it's him I was thinking of. I know Rocky Top a few times got auto drafted on that. Looks like it's about to start. So the other thing we're going to talk today about is we're going to talk about future bets, over-unders, college football and pro football. We'll probably start off with the pro over-unders. This is the season-long wins. It looks like we are finally got the draft.
Yep, we're in.
Okay. So let me do that. That's probably the best look for everybody. But anyways, we'll probably start off with NFL. And these are over-under picks for their win totals. And we'll kind of talk about that during this draft. And then as this draft wraps up, we'll go into the college football ones. Because I've got college football ones jotted on down, not just for the over-under wins in major conferences, but also playoff odds. But if we can't get to that, we're definitely going to do I told y'all NFL today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. If we can't get to that, we're definitely going to do all the NFL. I'm not worried about getting to the college. We can do that on the 24th. Okay, Doug, you're sitting at the number 2 spot. If McCaffrey's gone, where are you going?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the next available. I'm gonna employ what's called a hero draft, where I'm just gonna really take a top running back and I'm gonna concentrate. So I would probably take CeeDee Lamb with my second pick.
What is the thing with I see there's an NA not available for CeeDee Lamb, but then I don't see any kind of update.
I know, I saw that too.
Holdout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just indicating the holdout.
I'm gonna look for Ayuk, see if he has it too.
Okay.
He does not have it actually.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know if they'd sent him down to AAA to work on his mechanics or something.
No, he's officially on the reserve list.
Okay. I think we talked about this last time when somebody drafted him. Is anybody concerned about CeeDee Lamb? Are you hesitant to pick him because it's such a high pick because of the issue? You say, man, there's no way he's not going to play.
I am more worried than I was last week.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go with him in the top 3, but in like the middle of the first round range, I'd be probably willing to take that risk. But
yeah, what is the point where you're like, all right, there's one thing about being cautious, but it's another thing being stupid and letting him fall too far.
6 or 7 is probably the lowest I'd let him go.
Well, I was going to say top 10 at least.
Yeah,
the highest.
So, are you taking him over Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that area?
Not over Jefferson.
AJ Brown. Are you taking him over AJ Brown?
Yes.
I think AJ Brown's being drafted incredibly too high.
Yeah, like he's being drafted at his ceiling as if he's playing 17 games and producing in 17 games.
Yeah, because what week is it where he's going to throw a temper tantrum, right? And just the whole thing. It doesn't seem like – it seems like he's constantly playing the diva role. Is he?
Yeah.
AJ Brown's the only one in the NFL that I could see doing a holdout in the middle of the season. Right?
I'll go ahead and grab Breece Hall, by the way.
Okay.
Get my running back one.
I mean, it's
There's
nothing
some
about
tempting wide receivers, but I feel like that's deep enough, that position.
I'm actually on the clock now.
So far, what we've seen is it went CMC.
You all
Doug,
talked me out of
Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I went in. Y'all talked me out of it because I forgot how Dallas doesn't like to pay anybody. So
Steven took Jamar Chase.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, like my main person I wanted there was Bijan, but obviously got taken. I still love the upside of Chase. I mean, he's got a secure role, but no more Mixon. They're going to be focusing more on that pass game.
So it's my turn to pick. After saying everything I just said, I can't take AJ Brown, right?
Do it.
Let me go with God bless America. I don't really want to.
Derek Henry yourself into a corner here.
I'll just do for nostalgia. I'll take Derrick Henry, though I typically wouldn't draft him that high. I know he's creeping up some boards, but I still think Saquon Barkley is a safe pick. I want to take a receiver. This Q on Puka Nacua makes me nervous.
He already got hurt.
Should be fine for week 1. Oof.
Too. He's already got a Q next to his name.
All right, whatever. I'll go ahead and draft him anyways, just because I'm running out of time.
I mean, it's not a terrible start. Henry and Puka.
It's not a great one either.
I've seen a lot worse. I'll say that.
That just reeks of the IL. I mean, trying to find. Last time I don't remember having this issue with the. I'm too zoomed in to be able to see the draft button. Jeez, I guess there's no other way for me to do it other than just. All
right, so I was looking at receivers. I was really tempted to hit Marvin Harrison, but man, that ADP is just creeping up. I just wasn't comfortable with it.
People are getting aggressive with Harrison, and I understand why. He's a very good athlete, but you usually get some bumps for a rookie. So I'm a little concerned about taking some guy in the second round.
Well, speaking of him, I'm going to go ahead and snag him
well,
here. I just think look, he's the best receiver on the board. I went running back round 1, but I think the Cardinals offense is going to be playing. I don't know about keep up, but they're going to be giving up a lot of points. Their defense is. So the offense is going to have to be scoring a lot. They're going to be passing the ball a ton. Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of the best, wide receiver prospects we've ever seen. I think he's going to have a huge rookie year.
Man, you just put the kiss of death on your entire franchise with that one sentence.
He's the best receiver on the board with Devontae Adams sitting there is a.
Well, that was my dude. The first thing that popped in my head is that Bobby's about to be in a Taco Bell commercial, man. One thing I was going to walk up and pimp slap you.
All right, good pick on Pacheco, Doug.
What's that? I hear you.
So just good pick on Pacheco.
Yeah, I got to grab a running back. They're going quick.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, anybody who's drafted, feel free to talk over whichever one of us is yapping, because when it's your pick, we want to know who you're going with and why. I know sometimes we don't want to talk over each other, but Doug's picking right now. What are you thinking, Doug?
I'm thinking of running out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and take Jacobs as my second one. I don't think he's going to have a brilliant season, but I think he's going to make an impact.
You didn't grab Adams there, Raider man.
Yeah, auto draft just killed me. I almost had Adams too. Almost got both of them.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit down the board here. It's gonna be a different pick than I'd usually make. I think that Texans offense is gonna be fireworks this year. I think they're gonna be one of the best teams in the league, and I think Nico Collins is gonna have a monster year. He's gonna be the number one, even with Stephon Diggs there.
Well, I was going to go ETN, but I feel like the running backs kind of fall off from there.
Yes, they do. Like a free fall.
Yeah.
The next highest ranked running back, who's it? Rashad White, and then James. Yeah, that's a big drop off.
Yeah,
or maybe it's not because
Mike Evans.
Where'd you go, Evans?
Yeah, I went at Mike Evans.
Man, is Goodwin going to score touchdowns this year?
No,
doesn't ever seem. I was looking at his numbers because I'm doing some of those underdog drafts. Man, last couple of years, like he's had a lot of yards. He does not get. He's like the new Julio Jones. All right, it's going to me.
What you thinking?
Brandon Ayuk continues to be in the mix for getting traded away. I just don't know if they're ever going to get him traded away. I'm gonna go ahead and take him. It's probably not the wisest.
I guess then you just got to worry about the possibility of a holdout.
What's that?
I guess you just got to worry about the possibility of a holdout then, if he stays.
It could play into that, but I'm gonna see. I don't really like the idea of grabbing a. Just in case it does, I'll go ahead and grab. Well, I got auto drafted. Damn it! I did not want to tight end that early. All right, that's what I get for yapping.
Who are you looking?
I don't like getting a tight end that early. It's just not my thing because I feel like people overpay for tight ends. There was that couple of years when Kelsey was worth it, but
yeah, that's fair.
I would rather have a dynamic receiver and then try to shift in a tight end at the end than to have a so-so contributor at tight end and constantly looking for that extra receiver.
Yeah.
Now in this format, when you only need two receivers, it's not a terrible go. But I was thinking about at the time to grab Pittman as a Pittman or more as a flex.
Yeah.
And then you'd still come back down, and guys like Trey McBride and Mark Andrews, all those guys would still be available. Even Kittle, although I feel like Kittle's fallen off.
I don't know, but like if Ayuk gets traded, Kittle may have a rebound season.
That's fair.
He might, but then again, remember they drafted the kid out of Florida, who's I think is a phenomenal athlete, Pearsall.
Yeah,
he's been.
I know he was good
in camp though. He's dealt with I think 3 different injuries so far, which is
yes. The latest update on him is that he's back rolling again.
Yeah,
I don't know. The problem with those updates is you never know what to believe with that. You don't know if they're actually hurt or if it's because, hey, it's early August. Let's not do anything stupid. So we'll put a designation on him because some beat reporters got his microphone in your face.
Yeah. I'm going to go Jalen Waddle here, by the way. I'm heavy on receiver.
I was thinking of him too at that turn when I got auto picked.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to throw a ton in Miami. I don't care if they do have a stable of running backs.
Yeah.
But when he's healthy, I mean, obviously you'd be hoping for more of a Jalen Waddle from 22, but
yeah,
even so, we all know if Tyreek Hill gets banged up, that he becomes the focus.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and draft. I'm gonna grab a quarterback. Mahomes has sat on the board for long enough.
This is more for DFS purposes, Stephen. I didn't see the game, but I heard that Jalen Wright played well.
I haven't watched it either. I haven't watched it either. Like I was gonna watch it with my dad today.
Gotcha. I could be wrong, but I think it was in the 50-yard range, 55, 58. I don't know. It was just as I jumped off the broadcast.
I saw like 1 or 2 highlights, and I mean he looked fast from what I saw. I mean, he looked good. So
imagine that, a Miami Dolphin with speed.
I mean, like my take on that, I don't feel comfortable touching that running back room in general. I mean, especially with HN going in the second.
I'm more referring to. So I'll tell you who I've drafted a ton on best ball because I don't have to worry about every week on who to start. Hold on. My pick. All right, I'm going to take Devontae Smith because I still think he could end up being the better pick in that room for the Eagles. And my next pick, who do I have? I'll go ahead and take – I won't – this isn't very conventional for my theory, but I'll go ahead and get my quarterback, C.J. Stroud. But in best ball, Steven, I've drafted Devon Achane quite a bit.
Yeah, best ball, I can see it.
But as far as season long, yeah, I get it because you're constantly going to be scratching your head. Do I start him or do I not? Do I start him or do I not?
Yeah, especially that there's still Mostert there. You have the passing game. Jonnu Smith is there, there now as tight end, giving them an option there, in that facet of the offense. It's really it's Tyreek and Waddle, the only ones I'm sold on. Maybe Jonnu was a late round flyer, but
one of my favorite things to do in the best ball is to get Tyreek Hill early on if I can get him. Grab Achane on the turn. And then later in the draft, because he's never ranked that high in best ball, go ahead and grab Tua. And then that way, if Miami scores a lot of points one week, good chance that you're going to have a good week.
Oh yeah, no, best ball is a completely different situation. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing best ball, try to throw in all kinds of combinations of not only that offense, but just any offense you're trying to stack. Like if you want to do the Falcons, get some with Kyle Pitts and some with Drake London. If you want to do the Bengals, some with T. Higgins, some with Jamar Chase. Yeah, I mean, no, for that's where you really want to get that stack going.
Charlie's asking how many folks are typically in the league. Charlie, typically between 10 to 12. If you get some of the deeper formats, you're talking about 14 to 16. It's very rare that you see a league over 16, but usually people don't like to have it higher than 12 because it starts getting really thin on what's available. 8 is considered a very shallow league. 10 is about right, in my opinion.
I don't know why it just auto-picked me David Montgomery, but that's who I was going to pick next anyways. It's kind of bizarre.
No, Charlie, if you draft a guy, you're the only one that can have him. So once he's on your team, he's yours. Now, you can trade him, but that's a totally different ball of wax. But if you draft him, nobody else can draft that same player. It's just like a regular one.
Let's see. Back on the clock here. I don't want to go too heavy on receiver. Still got other positions to fill. Not liking the board with tight ends. I'm going to go ahead. Do I go? You know what? I'm going to take a chance and so I can get a little stack here. I'm going to take a chance on Hollywood Brown, that Chiefs offense. He could really explode next season. I'm going to give him a shot.
There's always a theme with
you, Zay Flowers, though. What?
He's either a Cardinal or he used to be a Cardinal, or there's rumors that he's going to be a Cardinal.
I got no love for him anymore. He left us. So
it's
no
it's like
there.
looking at my fantasy baseball team. There's a good chance that guy was rumored to be traded to the Braves at some point.
Hey, well then you get it then. You understand.
Oh yeah.
It's easy to buy in on him. So
that's why my fantasy team sucks right now. If the Braves can't hit their way out of a wet paper sack.
Well, and there's nothing really interesting in between the receivers and the running backs. So I just went ahead and you mentioned a stack, Bobby. So I went and got Joe Burrow to pair with Jamar Chase. I really also achieved my 2 starting receivers have a bye, week 12 bye. My 2 running backs have a week 14 bye. And then my 2 backups have a week 11 bye.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. I've never done that before.
There's sometimes I've talked about this. I like to take all my bye weeks at once and just tank a week. if I can. Let's see.
Man, I really spit the bit on the whole running back thing. God bless, there's nothing there. I'm going to take the best receiver available, which I still think is. Oh, I got auto picked again.
Oh,
That's who you're going to. Ooh, Zamir
White. Zamir White. I didn't want him, but it's not a terrible pick.
Volume, I guess.
I'm going to have depth on this team at running back. If this is a real league, I would have to go pretty heavy on my bench on running back because I can't believe that or you go with the idea somebody's going to get hurt and you're going to focus on that backup in the near future. But Henry and White is not
just went.
What's that?
2 defenses just went.
Yeah, that's got to be auto pick city.
Yeah. I was going to pick Kyle Pitts there just because he's free from Arthur Smith, but he's gone.
I'm going to go ahead and lock in Rashee Rice. I'm not sure if there's going to be any kind of legal action, and if there's not, he's the outside of Kelsey the most established in that offense.
That's a head scratcher too in that offense because along with what you just said, they added Hollywood Brown and then Xavier Curry's supposed to be this phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, low 4.3 40. That's their Tyreek Hill replacement.
I don't know if I'm bored a little bit here. I think Tyjae Spears, he could be set to have a breakout year. I'm gonna grab him for some running back depth.
I mean, even there, I'm thrown. Is it gonna be Spears or is it gonna be Pollard?
Yeah, I
think the answer is yes and no on both of those.
So, I mean, they're basically the same guy.
I think you're going to get low touches for both of them. I don't think they're going to try to pound either one of them.
I do have a good receiving core too, so that's fair.
It was a little strange that they went out and got Pollard, considering they had Tyjae Spears. I mean, Spears is a little more explosive, but I don't look at Pollard as an in between the tackle guy.
Yeah. All right, back up. Let's see.
I thought they would probably draft a bull or go try to get someone like a,
like
AJ Dillon.
I'm gonna go ahead. I don't want to draft my backup quarterback now. I also don't want to wait. Don't have my tight end. Got a pick. I'm gonna go Jordan Love. Nope, didn't get in time. Ended up with a tight end. That was probably the next pick.
Come on, Bobby, pay attention. I was gonna go Njoku.
You were one Njoku?
Yeah, that was gonna be my starting tight end.
Sorry, auto pick got him, not me.
Who are you gonna pick? I
was gonna probably go for a backup quarterback because I'm not as super high on Njoku, but I couldn't have waited too much longer for a backup tight end. It would have had to been the next, or not a backup, a starting tight end. It would have had to been the next pick. But I'm just not.
I'm switching the screen to flexes for people who are watching it. They're the most. At this point, if you already got a quarterback, most people aren't going to worry about getting that backup quarterback till late in the draft. So, I assume everybody's got a quarterback at this point, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I am coming up, and I can tell you that I guess I will. I think I'm going to take Jaden Reed, although I know because of a ton of problems. He's always injured.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I got to start getting some depth at running back with this team. Oof. I am not getting. You know what? I'm more like a grab Trey Benson, hope something terrible happens to James Conner. I am not taking Pollard, man. I think the Titans overspent on his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would rather take a flyer on Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah,
I am not touching Ezekiel Elliott with a 10-foot pole. I wasn't drafted that guy 2 years ago. Why would I be drafting him now?
I think the Titans could have a decent year, but I don't like this team building from them. Until we see something, until we see like Levis a little bit more established, I wouldn't splurge in free agency like they did. But.
Do you think maybe it's because with the new head coach coming in from Cincinnati that he just wanted running backs to catch the ball because he's not going to do a whole hell of a lot of running?
It's possible. It's possible. But even on defense and wide receiver, I mean, they spent so much money this offseason. It was pretty insane.
I didn't love the Ridley pickup at all. I mean, he was a dud in Jacksonville. And he has a bad case of the dropsies.
Yeah. I'm going to grab Pollard just in case one of those two Titans running backs goes down with an injury. Wouldn't be my favorite pick there, but I really need some running back depth.
It's always good to have two very mid running backs off the same team. So all year long you can go, damn it, I can't start either one of these idiots.
My whole logic is if one goes down for a few weeks, then I got one who's going to be getting quite a bit of carries. And we'll have some fresh legs. Probably won't work out, but now we're doing a mock draft, so.
Who are you going, Doug?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and take be boring and take a defense.
Carolina?
No,
Buffalo.
I would have liked to have gotten Deontay Johnson there, but I'll take Christian Watson.
Yeah, I was playing tricks on me.
I'm just worried about his injury past. He seems like he's hurt every year. Christian Watson.
That's fair.
I say that because I've been burned the last 2 years with him.
So Charlie's asking, if you have a budget, you don't have a budget on these drafts. These are just you pick the best player available. The other one is what happens if a player gets injured. You either drop them or you put them on your injured list. And that's how you deal with it. And you can go out and pick up another player. There's the waiver wire system. We'll get more into that as the season goes on, but basically you continue to build your team throughout the year.
Can't believe I ended up with Brock Bowers as my tight end. That just feels wrong.
Apparently, I saw something that he was doing really good in training camp for the Raiders. So,
yeah, he is. He's having a very good training camp.
Yeah.
That's a feast or famine pick.
So it's my pick now. We're coming up here in a second. All right. So what do I have here other than a dumpster fire in my backfield? So early on, I don't have a problem with taking a flyer on Austin Eckler. Although it seems like he's lost his fastball. I don't want to just dump out all my every running back left on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and grab. How many more? We still have a few more. You know what? Screw it. Because screwed up so bad with the running backs early on, I will take a flyer on Brooks. So I took Brooks and Eckler. Those would be the last of the running backs I would take. And then I would probably get another receiver or maybe a quarterback. But CJ Stroud, his bye isn't until week 14, so I'm not too worried about getting a backup quarterback to start the season. Because if he goes down, you're screwed anyways, right? Like, it's time to dump him if he gets injured. I used to always try to have 2 or 3 quarterbacks on my roster every year with the season long, and now I'm more to the mindset of the guy gets hurt, go deal with it then, but don't hamper yourself on the rest of the roster.
That's fair.
Depends how deep the roster is.
Yeah,
right.
Play safe.
I used to like to have multiple quarterbacks.
Tight ends.
What's that?
I always get a backup quarterback and a backup tight end. I don't know why. It's just I like to have.
I never
depth
get
at every
tight
position.
end anymore. The only time I would ever consider getting a backup tight end is if I drafted one of the top tight ends.
Yeah.
And really good one fell with a different bye week deep into the draft. But if I've got one of the very good tight ends, then I'm starting him every week. If I have one of the mid tight ends or lower in the draft, I figure I can stream if during his bye week or whatever.
Yeah. Well, speaking of backups, I'm gonna go ahead and get a backup quarterback here because I do have an early bye with Mahomes, and I think Caleb Williams is a special player. So go ahead and grab him.
Oh, he's special, all right.
Setting you up for that one.
I can't wait for him to be in the city of Chicago doing his nails on the sideline.
So, all right, what's your opinion on Justin Herbert this year? I mean, he's got the plantar fascia injury right now. Like they're saying he's gonna be ready for week 1, but I mean he's QB 13 as is.
He's already banged up, and I hate the receiving core he's going into the season playing with, and the offensive scheme of Greg Roman isn't going to help him much. So I'm not super over the moon about picking him, in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Herbert. Are they going to try to turn this into Michigan Light? Meaning, are they just going to try to pound the ball? Are they going to try to? Because even when Harbaugh was in San Francisco, I mean, his really good seasons, they ran the ball a ton.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and draft Cleveland's defense, by the way.
You just always assume the quarterback can have this wide open offense, but Harbaugh, he's very old school. He wants to lean on his defense, and he wants to shorten the game.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Justin Herbert flourishes in his offense, but I'm really hesitant.
It'd be one thing if
more
it
likely
was
to draft
Kirk Cousins.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it would be one thing if they had a pass-happy offensive coordinator to pair with Harbaugh on the coaching staff, but they signed Greg Roman to be the offensive coordinator, so it's like, you know what type of offense they're gonna run.
Right, and I mean he's of the same mindset essentially. So it's there's not going to be a tug of war in the meeting rooms. All right, it's my turn. I only have 2 more picks, so I'll go ahead and take a. I'm not doing a backup. I'm going to go ahead and take. I'll take a backup quarterback. Bye week is 14, so I don't want to double that up. I'll take a flyer on Kirk Cousins. I have more faith in him than I do Trevor Lawrence this year, to be honest. And then I'll go ahead and take a defense for the sake of this. You can't go wrong with Kansas City's defense.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, that's going to be an ugly division. Man, think about it. They get 6 games against Gardner Minshew, Bo Nix, and either a banged up Justin Herbert or Easton Stick. That is Chiefs defense are a very good play this year.
Doug's going to be involved in Minshew mania.
Oh, it's going to be a long season.
Everybody has to take their turn.
I'm going to take a chance here. This guy's probably going to be the second receiver on one of the most pass-heavy offenses in the league. Give me Khalil Shakur. I don't think he's great, but there's some upside there late in the draft.
Solid depth pick.
Yep. Kickers. Thank you, sir.
Douglas.
Oh, there's nothing left. I don't know. I'll just take Herbert just as
there he goes.
That's it, running back.
Miami defense.
I feel like there's almost some more useful players like way down the board than what's currently sitting available.
Yeah,
Mike Williams being up there scares me.
Oh boy! All right. finish for the kicker.
And you know, Mike Williams, one of the more intriguing things out there, because if everything were to fall in line, Mike Williams could be a hell of a number 2 in that offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that how likely is it that everything's going to fall in line for a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers that hasn't played in 3 years?
That's number one. He has to stay healthy. And then the other problem is Mike Williams has to stay healthy. That dude's always hurt.
That's true.
What's wrong with him right now?
I just feel like the Jets might be destined to crash and burn. I get scared with them.
Williams on playing week 1, we've got to see, and that's talking about week 1 of the regular season, not the. It's my turn, so it's time for me to pick a kicker. And normally I just pick a kicker for a team that I don't mind watching and keeping up with. I don't like a very efficient offense. I want one that can get in between the 20s and then give up. So we'll go with Minshew Mania, man. If he can get you into the 20s, man.
You really got to be careful with that position. It's the most important pick.
Real quick, we'll look at the teams. Start off with you, Bobby.
Sure.
How do you think you fared?
I'm happy with it. I love my receiver position. I feel like I did really good there, especially without having to pick one with my first pick. I love Breece Hall this year. Mahomes is Mahomes, you know that. I guess the weak spot really is just running back. But other than that, I feel like it's a solid team for a 10-man league. I would have liked a better tight end, though, too.
All right, next one. We'll go back up to Doug. Doug, what's your thoughts on your team, 10-man league?
Overall, not too bad at all. I mean, I'm solid at running back. I feel like I've got 2 decent receivers, and I feel like I added just enough depth, so I'm feeling pretty good about mine.
I like your depth at running back because I still think there's a very good chance that Jalen Warren takes over that backfield.
Yeah, that's why when I saw the pick, that's why I scooped it up on a chance.
Cool.
And Steven, what say you? I
mean, I'm in love with the receivers I got, but I really paid the price at running back. Now, I like my 2 starters in Mixon and Stevenson, but I mean, the only depth I got was Zach Moss and I think just Jerome Ford. And then I got Brock Bowers as my tight end, which I'm not touching in any of my drafts this year. So definitely not going to be as wide receiver heavy going forward.
And then my team, if you think that running back room stinks, look at this one. I was planning on going running back when I got overpicked Laporta. So obviously I like my tight end. That's fine. But in the quarterback, I may have drafted a bit too early. I love my receivers. I got Nakua. I've got Ayuk. I got Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers. So that's really solid. The problem is with running back. You had Derrick Henry for as long as he can stay healthy because he is an older running back. And then I'm going to be playing the game of who the hell do I start? Zamir White? Is Trey Benson going to get touches? Austin Eckler, Jonathan Brooks, and that would be the revolving thing. I think eventually, if this is a real team, I think I would start shedding off some of my running backs for depth elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And Kirk Cousins is my backup. It's worth taking a flyer on. I mean, Cousins, once again, he's coming off a major injury, so he's a huge risk as well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get at it. Oh, do they have grades?
He is also a lot younger and playing in a dome.
Okay, standings have it as Doug is going to finish in last, Steven next to last, me in 7th, and Bobby in 5th.
Wow, yeah, the stellar draft, I guess.
So according to Yahoo, we all suck. But this is all assuming and estimating bye weeks. So you have to take these with a grain of salt. So for instance, I haven't memorized y'all's roster, but one of the things I get hit with is I don't have a backup defense and I don't have a backup kicker or tight end. So immediately your stock goes down because they're calculating on what those guys would score during the bye week.
Oh, no, it's just the total points of the players you drafted. That's all that the numbers are.
Right, but what I'm saying, no, right, but these are based on the week to week. So like Lane, give you an idea what his starting lineup looks like. Lane, I mean, pretty darn good. Now he had the first overall pick. I feel like Mark Andrews is going to continue to slide down this year. And Najee Harris is a huge question mark to me. This guy's draft, his flex has some intriguing options, but I don't know if you have anything that's solid that you can definitely hang your hat on, because you're going to be constantly scratching your head of what's Keenan Allen doing in Chicago. We know what he did in LA, but come on. Brian Robinson, you can put a fork in him. Then there's the Jordan Addison question mark. Obviously, Xavier Worthy. And then Tyler Lockett will continue to just be a conundrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But all in all, I can't argue with this team. Anyways, we move on. So that was the draft. Now time to talk some over-unders in the NFL. We probably won't get to college football. And we'll be doing more of this on the Saturday morning kickoff show when it begins 2 weeks from today. And remember, it's going to be an hour earlier. We're going to come on around 8:30 in the morning and Eastern time and stay on till 10 a.m. Eastern time to get you set. And that way, anybody wants to watch game day and watch their picks on ESPN, we're going to get out of your way well in time. If you're a country club member, you'll be able to watch live and you'll be able to ask us questions live. If you're not, you can watch the replay right after we end. We'll put it live to everybody. But if you want us to answer your questions, who over unders, picks against the spread. Once again, we're still at 64% since we started this in 2014, so pretty darn good. We had a little bit of a dip last year. We came in 66%. We had a little bit of a dip last year, but still, all in all, you can't argue with those results. All right, I'm going to go around. Now, if anyone that doesn't know them, I've got them in front of me, but I'll start off with Steven. What's your first over-under that you're intrigued in the NFL win total?
So on a Hard Rock Bet, I know this may sound like a coming from a homer, but New York Jets over-under is 9.5 wins, and the under on that is plus 125. If you're telling me I'm getting plus money to have them just basically be at 500, I'll take that every day. I really am just not sold on Aaron Rodgers or the team in general being there. If Rodgers gets hurt, I don't think Saleh makes it through the season.
What's the over-under that you have?
9.5.
Yeah, that's what I have.
This is a Hard Rock Bet. That's at plus 125.
So to hit that, what it means is, for people who might be new to this, what it means is you're going to have to win 10 games or more. So 10-7, which is gettable for the Jets. But I'm with you on thinking that's like we just said in fantasy, everything's got to go their way. Because this team stunk without Aaron Rodgers last year. They couldn't get the ball past the damn their own 30s, much less into enemy territory.
Who's their backup quarterback? I know Zach Wilson's gone.
It's escaping me right now. I just saw it the other day because I was curious about that.
Tyrod Taylor.
That's right, Tyrod Taylor, because he stayed in the city of New York.
And their third string is Jordan Travis.
Yeah. Well,
if you really want to get funky.
I don't think he's going to see the field this year. I think he probably stays on the I don't know if he gets activated all year long.
Probably not.
He is what they call an old-fashioned development player. But if you're a Jets fan, the good news is he's coming off a major injury too. So Tyrod Taylor it is. Bobby, what say you? What's the first one that jumps out at you?
Going through them, I see the Texans sitting at 9.5, and I'm just supremely confident that they're going to be over that. I think they're going to win the AFC South. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the AFC in general. So I think over 9.5 at -140. I think that's a bargain. I'm very confident that'll hit.
What about you, Doug?
The one that sticks out to me that I'm kind of interested in is with the Eagles over under at 10.5. I'm definitely taking the under because there's something wrong with Philadelphia. They're coming off. They got 2 new coordinators. There's just something wrong in that locker room and on that team because they're going to definitely underperform this year.
So you're saying under?
Yeah, under at I think it's +110. On mine, I don't. Maybe on yours it's different, but the one I got is at +110.
Okay, so I'm going to go with. So man, there's a couple that jump out at me, but I'll go ahead and grab the first one. The idea that the Bears are going to win 9 games or more to me is a big question mark. The over-under is 8.5. And you've got Green Bay in the division. You've got Detroit in the division. I mean, how are they going to get to 9 wins? Because what they're saying is that they're going to have a winning season. With a rookie quarterback, everything else is new. I'm not buying it.
Well, there's loads of talent on that roster, but I also think about how Matt Eberflus, a lot of people were calling for his head last season. He's not a great coach. So, that's a team that could really crash and burn if things don't start hot.
Well, and the development of Caleb Williams, how quick does that come along?
Yeah.
And just because, and look, they could very well put up the points, but that defense wasn't shutting anybody down last year. No. So, to me, 8.5 is the Bears under is the first one that really jumps out at me.
Yeah, and you get it at plus money too. If we're looking at
right,
same thing.
I don't have that in front of me because I just jotted that. I didn't have room to put everything out there.
No.
But if y'all have that in front of you, what is it?
Hard Rock is under 8.5 plus 140.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing right after this show.
Can you
I would do it right now, but I'm afraid I'd be talking and accidentally bet on the Giants or something. Steven, what's your next one?
I'm going to go to the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting at 8.5 wins, and it's a straight bet -110 either way. So I'd like the over there. They're in a fairly weak division outside of the Texans. I mean, the Colts are still coming along, and the Titans are
easy.
Not going to be the best team in the league this year.
Easy.
Well, I feel like that was the nicest way I could have said it.
They're not?
Blasphemy.
But, in general, the Jaguars don't have that hard of a schedule this year. They have Patriots at home. They have the Bears at home. They get to play the Vikings, the Jets, the Raiders. Sorry, Doug.
Easy.
They have a lot of winnable games, especially down the stretch with a decent amount of teams that are not going to be playing for much, including 2 against the Titans in December. So yeah, over 8.5 wins for the Jaguars. I love that.
Which one's going to be worse this year? The Tennessee Titans offense for 2024 or the Atlanta Braves offense for 2024? I'm going to have a miserable 2024. That's all I can tell you.
Still, the Titans are going to be worse by a long shot.
You think? Do you know who has the 26th ranked offense in baseball this year?
I'm going to guess the Braves by context clues, but
26th after breaking all the records last year.
Well, I mean, you also have 3 starters.
I think the Titans could be higher than 26 when it comes to whatever offensive metric you want to look at.
We should look at that at the end of the year if you think of it, because I think it's going to be close. I really do.
I think there's enough terrible offenses where you guys can float above that.
Well, let me preface that with 26th since the beginning of May, the Braves. because they actually had a
All right.
hot April and then they fell the hell off. It wasn't just all injuries. But
here's a more realistic question: who's gonna have the worst offense, the Titans or the Raiders?
All right, Doug. I'm gonna have to.
Doug, I'm gonna leave this to you, man. I'll believe anything you say on this one. I feel like it'll be the Titans.
I was going to say the Titans too.
At least Doug has Minshew mania.
I would write home about that.
We got Willie
The
Mayo.
Titans would be a little bit worse, but that's like a 1-1-8 kind of deal.
We've got Willie Mayo, which I think he'll have some big games from time to time, but he's also going to do some boneheaded things. I think Doug's Raiders are going to be more consistent.
I think Levis is a little bit less of a less talented Josh Allen.
But we all assumed that of Indianapolis last year, and look what Minshew Mania did there, right? No one ever can make sense of it, but he moves the ball.
He's not good, but yeah, he makes it happen.
Will Levis, first of all, you already have the injured DeAndre Hopkins, so that's a big oof.
It's true.
But all I can see from Will Levis is probably hitting the deep pass from time to time, but going like, how are we going to move the damn ball down the field consistently? Like, do you see the Tennessee Titans on a 12-play drive? I don't, because how the hell did that happen? What are we going to do? Revert to like 2008 college football and to put bubble screens out there or something? I mean, I don't know how we're going to do it. Because Skillet Hand Ridley is going to be out there running around. Tyler Boyd's probably going to be the most consistent receiver, probably only getting about 50 or 60 yards a game, but he'll be more consistent.
I forgot Tyler Boyd's there.
Yeah.
That is just a weird offense.
I was thinking it's going to be Nick Westbrook-Akine for the first few games as wide receiver too, but forgot about him.
There's still Treylon Burks and
I don't know how long he's going to be
Chigo Okonkwo.
I don't expect DeAndre Hopkins to have a significant role in the first month of the season.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, he'll probably miss the first couple weeks, 2, 3, and then
at least, because you know how that is. They'll say 2 and it ends up being 3 or 4. So it's the same crap you get in baseball. He should be back in a couple of weeks. The next thing you know, you're like, why'd you put him on the 60-day IL if he's going to be back in a couple of weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Harris going to tweak his hamstring just for precautionary reasons. Next thing you know, you're like, dude, it has been 2.5 months. Let's get it together.
Yeah.
So that's I have no faith in injuries anymore. Football, baseball, all of them, because they all err on the side of caution because there's so much money involved. But it does drive you nuts because you're like, okay, but that money's supposed to represent W's, and you're being overly cautious.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the situation that I was raising hell last night off air. But so the Braves pushed their starter back again, right? And they keep doing this, give all these stars extra rest. I'm like, that's all fine and dandy because they want them to be healthy come the postseason. But right now, we're not making the postseason. So what are we saving them for? December? We're going to go out there and play Arizona Fall League? Anyways, back to football. I think Bobby was next.
I believe I was, and I gave you one that was minus, I think, 140 last time. I'll give you one that's plus money. I'm going to go with the Chargers under 8.5 wins. I just don't believe they have the firepower on offense, and I think they're going to be a very run-heavy offense. I think they're going to drop, obviously, 2 games to the Chiefs. I think they'll probably go 500 with the rest of the division. And I just don't believe in them. I don't think they have the talent. I think Harbaugh's a solid coach, but I just don't think that's a very good team.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a tough one to get to.
Yeah.
8.5.
Yep. I would have to look at the rest of their outside of the division games, but if it's anywhere near like average strength of schedule, I don't see them getting 8.5, or I don't see them getting to 9 wins. Not a chance.
Yeah, that's a tough one because new coach, new offense.
Yeah.
New roster, essentially.
Yeah.
Doug,
what's
a
worst roster? They really didn't improve much at all. I mean, I know they added Joe Alt, fantastic tackle, but you know they were in such a tough situation with the cap space this offseason that they really had no choice but to sell.
Doug, what say you?
Next one I'm looking at Detroit. I'm looking they're over under at 10.5. I kind of like taking the under with them because I don't see Detroit. Has Detroit really improved their defense? Or is this another case that the Lions are just going to give up a lot of points, which may or may not put them behind a lot of games? And I see Green Bay being a lot better team this year. So I would take the under 10.5.
I don't know why it's not on here. Maybe it wasn't live when I jotted these down. Anyone have the over-under for the Green Bay?
Green Bay's over-under at 9.5.
I'm
All
not
right,
seeing it.
I'll piggyback what you just said, and I'll take Green Bay over 9.5.
There is no live line on.
I feel like 10 wins is very gettable for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That team came dangerously close to making a Super Bowl appearance last year.
Yeah.
They smoked Dallas, and honestly, they gave San Francisco all they could handle.
Yeah.
I think we're getting ready to see another era of another great quarterback in Green Bay, similarly to.
Well, that's good because it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't had any luck with quarterbacks lately.
Those poor bastards.
I know, it sucks.
Not everybody can live their life with Will Levis and Jake Locker, Vince Young. I mean,
there's going to be people who'll be like 40, 50 years old. Packers fans that'll be that old, and they'll never have seen a bad quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean, not
they
for
saw Matt Flynn for a few games.
By the time Jordan Love's done, they will be.
Even right before, so this is a little bit before y'all's time, but Doug will remember this. Even right before Brett Favre came around,
Mm-hmm.
there was a guy by the name of Don Mikowski, spelled M-A-K Owski, and they used to call him the Magic Man. He had a year where he was lightning in a bottle. No one could understand how this Brett Favre was going to unseat him, but he did, and the rest is history. But Magic Man, dude, there was something there with him.
Well, the turning point for that game, they put Favre in. I remember watching the game because they were playing the Vikings, and Mr. Magic Man was having a bad game. So I can't remember who the coach was at the time. Bench Kowski and put Favre in, and that was the end of it from that point on.
You want to know how old Magic Man is right now, Doug?
Probably older than I am.
He is 60 years old.
Told you.
It's funny because if you don't see someone for years, they're in your head, they're still,
Yeah.
The last time I saw him, he was in his late 20s, running around Magic Man. What did he?
Well, he played with Green Bay for a while after that, but I don't think he ever started again anywhere.
He played. Well, he did for the Colts because
that's right.
He was actually the Colts quarterback when they finally went to Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Detroit. I'm pretty sure he was a backup in Detroit. But he was Green Bay 87-92. And he had a couple of years. Anyways, we got sidetracked, but I don't know what the hell made me think of Magic Man. But anyways. So, Steven, back to you. Because I took Green Bay's over.
You took Green Bay's over. All right, let me go. I was just looking into it. Los Angeles Rams, their over-under is at 8.5. I'm tempted to go under there. So, the under is at plus 125. I'm really scared of how that the loss of Aaron Donald is going to affect that offense. And we're already seeing Puka Nacua possibly injured. Matt Stafford has a perpetual back injury that can flare up at any time. I'm just that's their season can go south in a hurry. So just to get 8 and 9 would win that, and I could see that being their ceiling, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one that I would want to dive into their schedule and see, do a yes no type thing on the wins, because the one thing I will say is that McVay gets a lot out of his players. Like I didn't think. Remember towards the end of the season, the Rams were playing pretty damn good football, and like it didn't seem like it was possible.
Didn't they?
But
go
I would
to
have
Green
a hard
Bay and
time
just,
taking the over. I would definitely have a hard time taking the over for everything that Steven just laid out.
Yeah, I think they're going to go over. I mean, they have a way of just turning mid-round picks into exceptional players, key contributors on that team. I don't think talent will be too much of an issue. I know the loss of Aaron Donald is tough. It's a big blow, but I think they'll still hold up fine on defense.
It'll be key for them to do very well in the division because they're going to get to play Arizona twice. They're going to get to play Seattle twice. So I think it's going to fall off.
They get to.
Yeah,
and
then they have to play San Francisco twice. But if you can split the season series, which they normally do, that'll make the big difference on whether or not they get to the 8.5.
Yeah, they can't really afford to drop games against us in Seattle.
Bobby, as we start to wind this down, what's your next one? We're going to do one more round after this one.
Yep, I'm going to go Commanders at under 6.5. You also get plus money on that at plus 110. While I was looking through, I went and Googled the Commanders depth chart, and that team is just simply garbage. I don't think Dan Quinn's going to be a very good coach, and I don't think Jay Daniels is going to be great. I just think they're going to be a bad team. I think they'll be in the run for the number one pick. I don't even mind under 5.5, but I'd go under 6.5 just to be safe.
I would love to see a prop bet of who has a better season, the Patriots or the Washington.
Patriots line is set at 4.5. So,
I know it seems low, but then you think about their. I don't care what they did in preseason. That crap doesn't count.
No,
you think about their roster. You're like, how the hell are they going to get? You're like 4.5, and then you're like, wait a minute. Who are they going to?
I want to say Patriots under 4.5 so bad, but I know if I were to, they would squeak out a 5th win late in the season against a team they have no business beating.
Right.
That seems like that line is just too low, and they're destined to just go a hair over that.
Well, I mean, one thing to keep in mind is it is 4.5, but it's the 4.5 is minus 150. So, I mean, to me, the true over-under is on 5.5.
True.
What's the other side of it? You said
plus 120.
Plus 120 to be under?
Yeah.
Under 4.5, yeah.
I'm seeing plus 125 on DraftKings.
I'm honestly more likely to take the under than I would the over.
Yeah,
I'm not taking the over at that price.
So the under is plus 120?
Yes. 125 on DraftKings.
Unless Mayo just turns into one hell of a damn coach overnight, I don't know how they get to that 5th win. Because we're also talking about what this roster looks like healthy. What happens throughout an entire year of an attrition? How does that roster look like in November?
Yeah.
Bobby's phone's blowing up because they need a tackling dummy for week 19.
I'm not going up there in the cold to be a tackling dummy. I'll have to pay me a lot.
Oh, you'll go. The missus will tell you you're going.
They're
going to pay you what? You better get your ass up there, boy. Doug, your pick.
This is kind of like a long shot one, but I would the over under is 9.5 with the Falcons. I feel like the Falcons might be, and I say might be, this year's Detroit Lions. So the over under is 9.5 at minus 148. So that's kind of like my long shot, first kind of stupid pick of the year.
I don't hate it. I just don't have a lot of confidence because we haven't seen them on the field yet. But I don't hate it. I'll tell you one that we're going to do one more round of this. So I'm going to take what I think is low-hanging fruit. Give me Tampa Bay over 7.5. That seems low considering what we saw Tampa Bay do last year. And they pretty much have the same cast of characters. I do think there's something to the fact that Baker Mayfield's a gamer. He's got good receiving core. They actually had a pretty good defense last year. Rashad White's back. I mean, just everything leans to the fact that they may not win the division, but 8 wins is gettable. All right, one last round. Steven, what say you?
Man, we're really getting to the bottom of the barrel here.
That's why I'm cutting it off in this round. plus, we started a little late, so I wanted to make sure we're still doing the 75-minute ish.
All right, I'm going to go with a more bullish pick here. Baltimore Ravens over under is 10.5. Give me the over. It is -120, but
yeah, that's
kind of like I was saying with the Jaguars. There's just not that much competition in the AFC North outside of the Bengals are going to be good, but we don't know how good. Yeah. Steelers most likely going to be a tire fire, and same thing with the Browns. So 10.5 wins. I love their chances in the division and the conference again.
Bobby?
I'm going to go to the defending worst team in the NFL, Carolina. Their line set at 5.5. I'm going to go under there. Similarly to my logic with Washington, their team is garbage. And I like their coach. I like their hire of Dave Canales, but I just don't think they have – I don't think they have a good enough team to get over 5.5 wins. I just don't see it happening. And
that's interesting. I was watching CBS HQ. They have all these so-called experts coming on, and that was his favorite overplay for the entire season. He laid out a bunch of answers, but I get why you're going there because I'm like, I don't know, man. You're trying to sell me on what are you selling me on? Bryce Young?
I love Bryce Young. I think he's.
I'm gonna put a grand on Bryce Young and say, let's go.
I just don't think he can physically. I don't think he has the physical tools to play in the NFL as a high caliber starting quarterback or even an average one. In all honesty, I really hate it because he's great at reading the field, great pocket presence, but he's just. I don't think he has the physical tools.
Well, who wants to put $500 or $1,000 and then have to watch the Bryce Young all year and be pulling for that to succeed?
Yeah,
that defense was terrible. That's the other thing people forget about that. That defense was not good.
And they lost players on defense too. They lost Luvu. They lost Jeremy Chin. They
brought Clowney in, and Clowney says he doesn't play on losing teams. So get ready.
I guess they're a contender now because of Davion Clowney.
Yeah, buddy. Doug, what's your last pick?
Mine is with Pittsburgh. They're at 8.5 over under. I'm taking the under at -150. Pittsburgh is offensively dysfunctional.
Doesn't have losing seasons though, man.
This is the year he's going to know what a losing season is. They are going to lose big time this season. They're junk.
This doesn't have anything to do with the Immaculate Reception 50 years ago, does it? That's still like
could be. But I'm gonna enjoy it.
Too soon.
But yeah, take that -150. I'll take the under all day with them. Justin Fields hasn't figured out second and third he just can't play football as far as he can't get past that first pass. And what's his name is junk. So they effectively have no quarterback at all. And the other teams in that division are going to stomp on them with their defenses. They're going to stomp on them all day.
All right, my last one will be the Miami Dolphins, 9.5. I'm taking the over. I believe this team is going to win the division in all likelihood. If they don't, they're going to be right there with Buffalo. And I think the winner of this division probably ends up with about 11 wins. So the team right below it's going to at least have 10. 10 is not what it used to be. Like us old heads think about 10 wins in the NFL, and you're thinking about, well, that means that they have to go, 10-6. No, 10 is 10-7. It's barely above the 500 line, which would be a 9-8 record nowadays. So I think they're incredibly low.
Yeah.
And that offense.
Based on what you were saying, Dolphins to win the AFC East is +200.
Compared to who's the
Bills and Jets are co-favorite at +180.
Jets.
I think I'd rather hit the 9.5 because so many variables have to go in line for winning the division.
Yeah.
But you get to 9.5.
They could come in third and still go over 9.5. I mean,
right. Which is obviously why the odds are better if you take the division. Yeah. There are other things that I've made the argument with, like last time we were talking about college football, and I was saying, well, to take the over on Florida State 9.5, you pretty much got, I think it was, I want to say at the time it was minus 110. But if you took them to win the ACC, it was plus 300. No. I'm sorry. Not the over-under to make the playoffs. To make the playoffs, it was like around a minus 150. To win the ACC, it was a plus 300. And my thing was, I don't know if the ACC gets 2 teams in the playoffs. So you might as well go for them to get the conference championship. And if you lose out, you lose out. But you don't have to you'll win more, or you don't bet as much. All right, Steven, what is your walk-off for the day? And as you walk off, I'm going to give you an over-under to just give me a blind look at. What is your walk-off for the day? And the over-under is 11.5 on the Chiefs. What say you?
I'm going to go under on the Chiefs just because of all the new pieces on offense. They're coming off that, like, another Super Bowl, just that they're going to be tired at some point, have to relearn the offense. My actual walk-off, if you want a little prop bet for the season, Bijan Robinson, and to be Offensive Player of the Year, is plus 1750. I really think if this team is what we think it's going to be, Bijan could really break out and be the best player in the NFL.
And it must be Kismet, because I'm wearing Robinson's jersey right now. It's not Bijan, but I've got Allen Robinson's jersey from back when he played in Jacksonville.
We were talking about good Robinsons.
I found that thing in the back of the closet. What is it? I go, oh, that's right. I bought that thing the week he tore his ACL. I remember that. That was way back when we used to do the damn live shows at the restaurant here. And they were about to kick off the season. I was like, all right, I'm going to get me a Jaguar jersey. Instead of getting his, tear his ACL. It was like the first drive. It was very Aaron Rodgers-like. I don't think it was the first play, but it was definitely the first drive.
Gotta love it.
Oh, Justin Waller had a field day with that. Bobby, what is your walk-off? And your over-under pick is what's your over-under on Dallas? 10.5 wins.
Ooh. I hate that you give me that one because of the CeeDee Lamb situation. Real quick, I'll go over on that one. I think it's going to be between them and the Eagles to win the NFC East. And I think anytime you're picking between 2 teams coming down to the wire to win a division, I think they'll be high in wins. And I think the Cowboys are a solid team in general. So I'll go over 10.5. And then my walk-off is for today. It's a lot of teams. First look at a lot of their rookie players. So you guys enjoy that. Enjoy watching all your big-name rookies coming in and hopefully making an impact for everyone's teams.
And Doug, your over-under I'm going to give you 10.5 of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, man. I'm going to go out on a limb and take the over.
And your walk-off?
Walk-off is, we're talking about Gardner Minshew. Remember, he's only here to game manage his team. With the Raiders this year, we're not going to win with offense. We're going to win with defense. That Raiders defense is a lot better than people realize they are. It is. So I kind of give Minshew a break. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, the Raiders should win more than 6 games.
All right. And my last one, I'm going to pick one of the actually, Steven, you give me one. If you still got it pulled up. You still have it pulled up?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go New York Giants, 6.5.
God bless. They've been one of my favorite teams in the NFC for a long time, but man, I have a hard time seeing them getting to 7. The only thing that helps them is that Washington's in their division. They get to play them twice. But I'm going to have to go under because I was watching little bit of their preseason game the other night. And I was like, this just looks like it looks like Groundhog Day. It's the same junk. They didn't do anything to address the quarterback situation. And I like Dable. If anybody can get him over the hump, it would be him.
Yeah.
But I think he's a guy that's going to get fired, and it's really not his fault because it's a poorly constructed roster. And Malik Neighbors, man, if you draft him high in drafts, like I see him going, that's a huge leap of faith. Because as talented as that kid is, there's going to be a lot of games where you're going to be wondering if he was active. My walk-off is we'll see you August 24th, the first part of the real season, the regular season starting for us. There are a handful of college football games on that day. We'll go over-unders for college football. It's going to be – we'll be coming on, start the stream about 8:30, jumping on by 8:45 at the latest. And we'll be going till 10 a.m. every single Saturday throughout the season. And hope everyone's ready because I'm ready, man. I'm dreading the Atlanta Braves baseball game tonight. Hey, Steve, I don't think I've seen you since the trade deadline. I think the Miami Marlins were the winners of the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, they really built that system back up.
They did, man. Now whether that means anything, who knows? I know it's frustrating as a fan because you see him make the playoffs last year and then they immediately started selling this year, but they did a hell of a job bolstering their biggest question marks.
Oh, I mean, just getting Devison De Los Santos alone for AJ Puck was the trade of the deadline.
Yeah, that one was a head scratch. I don't know what they think they're going to. I mean, I've seen AJ Puck come in as a middle reliever since then for him. I guess they felt like they. The only thing I can figure is that they've got big dreams for AJ Puck next year, and they're going to use him as a swing man right now. But
he's already working as a closer from what I'm seeing, or getting in the mix.
Well, you also duped Baltimore into thinking Trevor Rogers was savable.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Meanwhile, the Braves go and get Jorge Soler and took him a week and a half. No. Damn near 2 weeks to hit his first home run last night.
This
and
ain't
it
2021.
barely got over in Colorado. It hit the top of the fence.
This is not 2021. You may have Adam Duvall and Jorge Soler, but
this is not 2023, excuse me.
Yeah.
Where the ball flew. This ain't 2022. This ain't 2019. This is starting to feel like the rebuild years in 2016, 2017, where you're like, damn, dude, I don't know how we're going to win today. Michael Harris comes back on Wednesday, but, man, Ozzie doesn't come back for another month, and it may be too late if they don't get it together. All right, y'all, have a great one. We'll see you next time. August 24th, Cover Country. We'll be going to 10 a.m. every Saturday as your college football, NFL football picks against the spread. That's what we'll be doing here. So if you're actually wanting to know who's going to win and why and the points, this is your betting choice. We'll see you next time.